All right, good morning. So I would like you to go ahead and on your slates, I want you to do the math warm-up. 3 questions on your slates. When you're finished, you can double check with a partner. As you're doing letter C, make sure you're thinking about that academic language. What vocabulary do we use? Good, I see some of you are finishing a little early. Go ahead and check with your neighbor. Make sure you have the same answers they do. If not, discuss why not.
So think about your vocabulary. What are the parts of those things? What are they called? What is the 5? What is the 12? What is the 3?
All right, give me 5. All right, as I walked around the room, I saw everyone was right on track. So let's just double check. Let me pick some sticks. Number 23 for A. Yes, ma'am.
So when I subtracted 5 and 2, I got 36.
Okay.
And then I reduced it to 1/2.
Beautiful. So why didn't you change the denominator, Caitlin?
Because they're the same denominator.
Okay, so the denominator doesn't change. Okay. So then why did you decide to change it to 1/2?
Because it can be reduced.
So it can be reduced. Good job. All right, equal to 6/9. And how did you figure that out, Sam?
Because 3 times 3 is 9, 17 times 3 is 6.
Okay, so 3 times 3 is 9. So 2 times 3 is going to be 6. Good job. And let me ask a follow-up question. Does anyone remember why we're allowed to do that? This was that love note. What was the love note that I gave to everybody? Why are we allowed to multiply 2/3 by 3/3? Roxana. Whatever I do to the bottom, I have to do to the top. But there's another reason. You're right. There's another reason. Harrison.
3/3 is 1.
3/3 is 1. And the multiplication property of 1 says that, what? It doesn't change the value of the number. Right. So 2/3 has the same value as 6/9. Right? So I'm allowed to multiply it by 3/3 because 3/3 is equal to 1. Okay? Awesome. Whole number is a 5. Everybody agree? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Yep. 4 is the denominator. Yes, no? Yep, I agree too. And the numerator is the 3. Good job. Okay, so all of this is leading us to our content goal today. Take an eyes on the content goal, please. Let's see. Jacob, can you read that? Sarah.
Subtract mixed numbers with unlike denominators.
Okay, so by the end of today's lesson, you're going to be able to subtract mixed numbers with unlike denominators, okay? So we've already done subtraction of regular fractions. Been there, done that. You did it very well this morning on your warm-up. So now we're going to subtract mixed numbers with unlike denominators. So I'm going to do a little demonstration for you. During that demonstration, what I'd like you to do is I'm going to be doing some steps through the process. What I want you to do is write down the steps that you think I'm taking to figure out the answer. Okay? So the problem is 3 3/4 minus 1 1/2. That's the problem. Okay? I'm going to demonstrate this for you in a little bit of a different way. And in that demonstration, while I'm doing it, I want you to write your notes on your slate. What do you think step 1 is? What do you think step 2 is? What do you think step 3 is? Okay? So take those notes on your slate as I'm demonstrating. Okay, so I have some paper plates, because they're cheap, and I can do that. It's super simple, right? Okay? So 3 3/4, easy, right? So here's 1 for my whole number, 2 for my whole number, and 3 for my whole number, and then 3/4. So I'm actually going to cut out the part that we're not using, okay? So cut my other 1/4 out that is not being used in my 3/4, because 4/4 minus 1/4 equals 3/4. So now I have 3 3/4, okay? So then I have my other number, which is 1 1/2, so I have 1 and 1/2. Now the only thing about this one is I have a half of 1, so I'm going to cut that one out too, because I'm not using the other half. So now we're going to get to the math portion, which is I have to subtract these now. So if I'm going to subtract them, I don't have a common denominator. I got to figure out, okay, well, if I'm going to do this as a subtraction problem, I know these are the same. So I'm going to actually make it kind of look like a subtraction problem. So I'm going to say that this is my subtraction problem. Okay? So here's 3 minus 1, and here are my fractions, 3/4 and 1/2. But they're not the same size, so I got to figure out a better way to make them the same. Well, I know, because we've already done equivalent fractions, that if I just take this and I cut the half in half, then I have 2/4. Okay, so I'm thinking, okay, 2/4 is about the same. Yep, I got it. So now I have 2/4. Okay, now I can subtract them. So then I can say 2/4. Oh, I'm going to get my trusty scissors out again. So if I subtract these, I say 1/2 or 2/4. Get rid of that. See ya. Which means I'm going to subtract the 2/4 from the 3/4, and I have left over 1/4. That's there. And then here, I subtract my whole number, because they're the same. Well, that's easy. I don't have to cut anything out. Just take those away. Beautiful. And then I have my leftovers. So then I should have 2 and 1/4 left over. Okay? So I see a couple of you have your steps written down. A couple of you were so engrossed watching that you didn't write all of your steps down. So make sure, think back to what I did. What were the steps? 10 seconds. If you finish early, go ahead and get your math note paper out. Have a paper to have notes on that we can use for quizzes and the test. Test. All right, give me 5. Thank you. So, Bailey, what was the first thing that you had on your steps? What was the first thing that you saw me do?
You need to have the denominators the same.
Good. We have to have the denominators the same. We need to have the denominators the same. So what do we call that? What do we call that when we're finding, well, I almost gave you the answer. What do we call that when we're doing subtraction of fractions? Sam?
Changes the denominators.
Okay, changing the denominators. Anyone have a different way of saying it? Common denominators. And when we want to not have to reduce it a bunch of times at the end, what do we call that?
GCF.
That's the greatest common factor. That's a big one. We want a little one. Think back. Think in your head. Share with the partner. I heard it a few times. I heard it 2 different ways. I heard least common multiple, and I heard least common denominator. So when we're working with denominators, what is it going to be called? Least common denominator. So we're going to find the LCD. We're going to find the least common denominator. And how is that going to help us at the end? Yeah, less reducing at the end, right? If we make it a big number, then we have to reduce at the end. So we're going to find the LCD. Then, what was my second step? Raise your hand. Somebody give me an idea of what was my second step. What do you have on your slate? I only have one person. I'll wait. You all have it written on your slate? Look at step number 2. Danica, what do you have?
Can you subtract everything?
When you say everything, did I just combine it all together?
No.
Okay. What did I do?
You subtracted the fraction.
Good. I'm going to subtract the fractions. And then I did what, Danica? What else did I subtract?
The whole number.
Good. Then I'm going to subtract the whole number. Now there's something I didn't have to do this time, but I might have to. Did anybody write it on their slate? Harrison, what did you write?
Reduce if necessary.
Yeah, reduce if needed, or rename if needed. We don't always need to, but sometimes we do. Okay, so we reduce if needed. Okay, so make sure you have that on your notes. We're going to practice a couple of problems. So, on your slate, here we go. Let's do a couple of problems. Practice problems. 6 2/3 minus 3 1/6. 6 2/3 minus 3 1/6. When you're finished, keep your slate private. Follow the steps. Because it doesn't change the value. We can multiply it by whatever we multiplied it by here to get to the common denominator. We have to do the top number as well. All right, be ready to show me. Keep it private. Be ready to show me in 3, 2, 1. Show me. Think about where your slates go. Good. Some of you forgot to do some reducing. Don't forget to reduce at the end. So we had 3 3, 6, but then that is reducing down to, what did you get, Heather? 3 1/2. Beautiful. Very nice. Go ahead and erase your slates. We'll do one more practice. 8 3/4 minus 6 1/6. Eight 3/4 minus 6 1/6. Again, once you have your answer, keep it private. Think about those steps. They're on the board for you if you don't remember. They're also in your notes. I really like the way Alina sets up her problem as well. She even sets it up so that it is written this way. So that she remembers she's subtracting the fractions from the fractions and the whole numbers from the whole numbers. Nice job. be ready to show me? Finish up.
How are you going to write it as 12? What times what equals 12? 4 times what equals 12? Good. What if I'm going to do that to the bottom, or I have to do this? So ready here.
All right, be ready to show me in 3, 2, 1. Show me. Think about where your slates go. Turn around for me so I can see it. Chandler, check your fractional part. Your whole number is correct. Check your fractional part. Good. 2 and 7 12. And remember, what I do to the bottom, I have to do to the top. So if I'm going to make it into 12, I'm going to make it times 3. So then I have 9 12s. So then times 2. 2 over 2. I can do that because I'm multiplying it by 1. So then I have 2 12s. When I subtract it, 9 minus 2 gives me 7. My denominator doesn't change. And then 8 minus... Okay, I am going to give you a problem on the board. And there is going to be a mistake. Okay? Here's what you're going to do. On your exit slip, here, what I want you to do is explain to me, what did that person do wrong? Okay? So, think about the steps and be able to explain to me, what did they do wrong in this problem? Okay? Here we go. So your job is to find the error. Number 1, if it were me, I would work the problem. That would be my first step, is to work out the problem. And then my second step would be to explain the error. Good, so now I want you to write it in words. Explain to me. So you have the answer now. Now explain to me in words. What did they do wrong? Okay. So don't forget about... All right, share with a partner your exit slip, please. All right, give me 5. I would like Danica to share her answer. I loved it. Danica, will you read it for me, pretty please?
What the person did wrong was it forgot to change the numerator since it changed the denominator. Whatever you do with the denominator, you do with the numerator.
Good job. All right, let's give 2 claps, please. On your way out.